We asked folks to send in questions, and they were sent in specifically for you this week, John, at Politicon on Twitter or at Politicon on Instagram, or you can email them to us at podcasts@politicon.com. Jason from Baltimore asks, are you afraid that Biden is too close to neocons?
That's a good question. It's not, I'm not focusing as much on his closeness to neocons as neolibs, I guess, if I had to speak broadly.
Okay.
Sure. I think if someone listening to this has a concern that Joe Biden will return to the Obama era foreign policy, which has some great successes, but also has a hell of a lot of drone strikes and continued military engagements. I think we'll know in a few weeks. We're going to see who he picks for, some of these positions to head up Department of Defense and, other things like that. We'll see. But I don't think that's an irrational fear to have.
Tamara from Akron asks, will you ever trust Kamala Harris?
That's a great question.
These are viewers of yours too, it sounds like.
She could win me over by, it would be very difficult because the VP doesn't generally, outside of, under George W. Bush, doesn't generally have much power. But if we find out behind the scenes that she's really pushing Joe Biden, if she, like how Joe Biden helped champion some pieces of legislation under Obama, if she ends up doing that for a public option or for some big environment bill or something like that, that would be great. She's definitely going to run for president in 4 years. If she starts working now to reassure progressives that she has our back, I think she could win people over. It's difficult considering her history, but I don't think it's impossible.
4 years, so you don't think Biden will run for second term?
He's gonna be very old. I don't think he has to. Let him rest.
Let me ask this: if Trump were to decide to run for another term in 2024, would you want him to run? I mean, assuming he runs, I'm sure he will say he's going to, whether he does it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm skeptical of. But assuming he runs and has the nomination, would you want him to run against another Democrat, or would you want him to run against Biden, who we know, at least from this experience, has been able to beat him once?
That's a great question. I haven't actually had it framed that way. We're going to have to see how the midterms go. We're going to have to see how much the Dems are actually able to get past a Senate that might still be, led by Mitch McConnell. Obviously, the benefit to Biden would be he's already won and he'd have, sort of the benefits of incumbency. But I don't know what January is going to be like. It's hard to imagine what America is going to be like in 4 years. I have other people who aren't even legally allowed to run for president yet that I'm pulling for 4 years. We'll have to see. I think he's going to be too old. I'm not one of those people that thinks that he's about to lose his mind or die or anything like that. I'm really not. But he is already the oldest president literally ever that will be sworn in. I think it's too much to do a nationwide campaign and all
not
of that.
Legally allowed. You mean Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez?
Yes.
To run in 4 years. Okay. David from Portland asks, what do you want for Trump when he's out of office?
What I want for him, he will never get, because wealthy, powerful, well-connected people never suffer any consequences, let alone really bad ones. What I want for him is to spend a little bit of time with his family. He's aging fast,
aren't you so
too.
nice?
I just,
Do you think Joe Biden should pardon him?
No. I don't think Joe Biden will pursue anything. Whether the states do or the DOJ independently does, that's possible, although I think unlikely. But no, I think Joe Biden is going to be like Barack Obama. He's going to be looking forward, not looking back. And that scares me because it continues a precedent that as long as you make it to the end of your term, you're fine. No matter what you did, it doesn't count for anything. I think that is scary.
Hey, I'm Clay Aiken. To hear the full episode, subscribe to This Politicon podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to pods. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Go to Politicon.com, follow @Politicon on social media, and listen to a new pod episode of How the Heck every Thursday.